Welcome to the second video on noun clauses. Make sure you have watched the first video before you complete this one and have your note-taking sheet ready to go. Noun clauses are found in sentences as subjects and objects, and they can also be used to embed questions into a sentence. In case you are wondering, an embedded question is just a question written within a sentence. Let's take a look at the following question. Where does Michonne work? If we wanted to take this question and embed it into a sentence to express the same meaning, we could say, I don't know where Michonne works. Notice that when we change the question to a statement, the verb does is removed. Whenever we embed questions into statements, do, does, and did are removed from the sentence. Keep in mind that when noun clauses act as embedded questions in a statement, the word order is the same as a sentence: subject, verb, object. When we take the question, who lives there, and embed it into a statement, we can keep the word order the same because it has the subject first, who, the verb second, lives, and the complete thought at the end. When we use noun clauses as embedded questions, we can put them into questions starting with, can you tell me, followed by the embedded noun clause. The following examples show the difference between regular questions and more polite questions that have embedded noun clauses. In the second example, it's common to ask, what time is it, to people you know very well, such as your friends. However, it is much more polite to ask, can you tell me what time it is, to an acquaintance or someone you don't know very well. As a reminder, look at each embedded noun clause in the embedded question. The word order changes so that the verb comes after the subject. On your note-taking sheet, embed these questions by changing them into noun clauses that are in polite questions. Start each one with, can you tell me? Pause the video before continuing. So now that we know that noun clauses can be embedded questions for politeness, you also need to know that we can change yes/no questions into noun clauses embedded in statements. Let's look at the following question. Will Glenn come back? This question has either a yes or no answer, so we can embed it into a noun clause that starts with whether or if. Instead of asking, will Glenn come back, we can say, I don't know whether Glenn will come back, or I don't know if Glenn will come back. It's much more common to hear people use if when embedding yes/no questions into noun clauses, but whether is also acceptable. When using whether, you can also add or not at the end of the clause. I don't know whether Glenn will come back or not. This is optional, but you can add this if you want. When you use whether to introduce a noun clause, you can put the noun clause at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. But if you want to use if in a noun clause, you can only put the noun clause at the end of the sentence. Starting a sentence with if creates a different type of clause known as a conditional clause. Take a moment to pause the video and correct the errors found in these sentences. Remember, all of the errors will happen in the noun clauses. The word that can also be used to start noun clauses. Noun clauses that start with that can be used as the subject or object of a sentence. When that clauses are used as objects, they come after the verb in the sentence, like in the following example. Sasha said that Bob is a nice guy. That Bob is a nice guy is the object of the verb said. When that clauses are used as subjects, they come before the verb in the sentence. Look at the following example. That Enid likes him makes Carl happy. That Enid likes him is the subject of the verb makes. You probably noticed that this example, that Enid likes him makes Carl happy, is an awkward sounding sentence. It's grammatically correct, but when that clauses are used as subjects, They can sometimes get very long, which makes it difficult for readers to identify them as subjects. When this happens, we can use the word it to take the position of the subject. The word it doesn't become the subject, but instead, it signals that a noun clause will follow. So instead of saying that Enid likes him makes Carl happy, we can say, it makes Carl happy that Enid likes him. The use of it only works with noun clauses that start with that. Go ahead and pause the video to complete the following sentences with your own words. Make sure to write your responses on your sheet of paper. Finally, look at the following sentences and turn them into noun clauses beginning with that. You will need to start each sentence with the words it is and use an adjective or adjective phrase from the box provided to make your sentences. Look at the example. The world is round. We can change it to, it is a fact that the world is round. Do this with the rest of the sentences and write them down on your sheet of paper. Once you have done this, you have completed the second video on noun clauses. Make sure to write down all of your responses and take your sheet with you to class. Thank you for watching.